Oh, thank you. I love hearing my name. I'm Cheryl Strumstead Snyder. I'm the chaplain practitioner here at the center. And you are?
Reverend Tamara Merrill.
We are so glad to have you with us today. This is a special Sunday. And as you know, we're gathering names of your families that have gone on before you. So we will be honoring them. If you haven't had the opportunity to leave the name with Sky or with Topher, so that we can read your beloved's name off, please do that before we get to that part of the service, okay? So we're going to do the 7 directions today. It's an invocation that honors all of the directions and the meanings behind them. So we will be asking you to stand and face the direction of north. And you'll see that there are signs on the altars that are coordinating with the direction. So if you would please stand and face north. We turn to the north, the direction of the sun at its coldest and darkest, sage knowing of the elders, wintertime, and the element of air. We thank you, sacred mystery, for how you are revealed through air, breath, and wind, that you blow wisdom through the wintertime air like a generational seed that will become planted in the coming months of spring. We bow to the north in gratitude and honor for the cover and quiet of the night, for the inspiration of dreams, and for the much-needed sacred rhythm of dormancy and dark.
And now, please turn to the east. We turn to the east, the direction of the rising sun, new beginnings, springtime, and the element of fire. We thank you, sacred mystery, for how you are revealed through the wild mercy of every morning when the sun, our guiding light, our warming fire, and inspiration for a new day rises yet again. And we acknowledge the shadow side of fire, as it can cause destruction. Our prayers and activism are with and behind those whose lives, human and more than human alike, are being impacted by forest fires even today. We bow to the east in gratitude and honor for this new day and all the wisdom within this eastern direction.
Take a deep breath and turn to the south. We turn to the south, the direction of the powerful sun in its full force, growing awareness, summertime, and the element of the warming and fecund earth. We thank you, sacred mystery, for how you are revealed through earth, the primary incarnation, the place from which life is seeded and grown. We bow to the south in gratitude and honor for the work of this day, the particular purpose for which we each have been created, and all the wisdom within this southern direction.
Let us turn to the west. We turn to the west, the direction of the setting sun, courage and introspection, becoming and belonging, autumn and the element of water. We thank you, sacred mystery, for how you are revealed through the watershed, seeing how we too are meant to be held within the flow of the essence of life. We bow to the west in gratitude and honor for another day well lived. And as the sun sets below the horizon and the yellowed leaves fall to the earth, we lean into the grace and wisdom of what is for us when we let go and allow ourselves to be in the flow.
You may face forward. We reach to the cosmos. the home of the planets, stars, and galaxies, the creative cosmic reach of the divine spirit who flared all things forth. We thank you, sacred mystery, for how you are revealed through the principles of the universe, diversity, interiority, and communion. We expand our reach upwards, remembering and reclaiming our at-oneness with all beings in the sacred community of expansive life.
Let us reach down to the earth, the holy humus from which all planetary life is derived. Here, we humbly acknowledge the sacramentality and reveal the nature of our planet. Here, we acknowledge that we are each guests upon the lands of hosts of peoples. Indigenous communities who have been living upon these various lands for the time of memorial. We acknowledge that land on which we gather is of a people who have been here, are here, and will continue into the future with their wisdom and worldviews. May that, our presence of acknowledgement and gratitude, be an honor to these host people. We thank you, sacred mystery, for Earth's energy and nourishment, for the plants, the trees, the animals, and humans. We acknowledge the inherent dignity of all beings and the divine presence that is made manifest through Earth and all her systems. We bow to the ensouled Earth in gratitude and reciprocity.
And now we place our hands on our hearts, honoring the divine spark in our core, the presence of the holy within that honors the holy throughout. We thank you, sacred mystery, for your light, power, wisdom, and guidance that you placed within each of us. And so it is. I love each and every one of you. It is such a privilege to be in this community and to see these hearts so wide open. Today we celebrate the ancestors, those who have gone on before us. This is a very special day. This is not a tradition that's commonly done in the West. There are many other traditions, like the Dia de los Muertos. This is the season for Dia de los Muertos. Did you know that the marigolds, the scent of the marigolds and the color of the flower is what they believe draws their ancestors to come and join them on this time when the veil is thin? And that's why we have marigolds all around, and why you see fields of marigolds, because we live in this community where the dead are celebrated all the time. If you've been to the cemeteries, the Mexican cemeteries, we live out by Watsonville. Those cemeteries are amazing, beautiful, golden flowers everywhere. And they come and they celebrate at the gravesite. Our Western traditions would not even think about that, I don't think. There's a West African tribe who believe that in order for that soul to leave the body, that the whole community must get together and they must drum and dance and wail and scream and sing. And if there's nobody to do that, that soul is left in the body. There's another tradition that believes that we die twice. And that part of that is the Dia de los Muertos. The first death is the physical death. But the second death is when nobody remembers you any longer, nobody says your name. Your memory is gone. This is an important day. I'm privileged as a chaplain to be able to do celebrations of life. Most of the people that I do celebrations of life for, I've never met, which is kind of interesting. But they've asked for an unusual service. Many of them are spiritual, not religious. They don't want to be in a traditional church. They have, some of them have no belief in a higher power. Some of them have a belief in nature. It's all perfect, it's all okay. But it's a blessing for me to be able to stand there and absolute knowing of this beautiful person that has left this plane and to find out what they have left as their legacy. I have learned the most amazing stories about people, things that have not really ever been known, even by people that know them. One of them was my brother-in-law. When Owen's brother died, we were astounded to be in a school gymnasium with over 300 people that were mourning and celebrating this man that had been so quietly volunteering with all the school programs, blah, blah, blah. We did not even know. We just knew he was busy all the time. We didn't know he was the president of such and such, and he never let his light shine in a way that we saw it. And so it's really fun to be able to gather with people from all different arenas of your lives. People that went to school with your parents that knew them when they were this high, and all the little stories of things they had gotten into trouble with. I have a story about my mother. There's lots of stories about my mother. My mother was the best baker on the planet, I swear. I grew up with fresh baked bread all the time so the story is about caramel rolls. My mother made the most amazing caramel rolls. My children, my sisters and I, my nieces have all tried to duplicate Mom's recipe, where she just kind of threw stuff in the pan and had this wonderful caramel sauce that she baked those caramel rolls in. And when she was in hospice, one of the neighbors came over and he said, "Now, Alice, I know you must have some of those caramel rolls still hidden down in your freezer, right?" And she was like, "No." But Mom did that out of love. And all of the neighbors knew her. That was how she loved. But what I didn't know, because I was out of the house, was that my mother, I knew she was a school bus driver, but I did not know that she was handing out gloves to kids who needed it. This was in North Dakota in the winter. Made sure they had scarves, made sure they had jackets if they didn't have money for them. I had one gal come to me and she said, "Your mom gave me a bracelet. I still wear it." And I've never met this young lady. So what stories are not being told in your ancestral circle? I love when my family gets together. That's when we celebrate our ancestors, when we all get together and we share those historical stories. That's when I find out that my father was shot down in World War II and how he survived that. That's how I found out my grandfather emigrated from Norway and homesteaded in North Dakota. Their legacy lives on through us. What stories are living on through your ancestors and your lives? How blessed we are to be able to know those stories and recognize how they inform us and how we live our lives. True? Yeah. So I'm not going to go on today because we have so many people that we will be honoring today. I have one little quick thing that I want to read to you before I leave you, because I did spend hours on this, Okay. Ernest Holmes states, "But we are all human beings, and we all do long for the touch of a vanished hand or for the sound of a voice that is still." Yes, we are all human. We miss our friends. We miss their presence because love, friendship is the greatest thing in the world. Love is the lodestone of life. It is the greatest gift of heavens and the highest treasure of earth. So what we believe in science of mind. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. We believe that we are spiritual beings in human form, and that we continue to be spiritual beings after we shed our mortal coil. We believe that heaven is within us, and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. And we believe in the individualization of spirit in us, and that all people are individualized sparks of that divine light. Thank you. So it's a tradition of our center, whenever any one of our members leaves this world, that we light a candle to honor and recognize their eternal soul, that eternal spark that lives in each one of us. Today we will be reading off names of your loved ones who have passed on cards you gave us before the service began. When you hear the name of your loved one, please quietly go to one of the altars, and if you wish, light a candle, and then quietly return to your seat. We ask that everyone maintain a respectful silence as we read the names and the crystal bowls are played.
To begin with, our congregants who have passed this last year: Sue Inch, Joy Haley, Jeannie Sparks, and Wendy Edmonds.
Thank you. Let's take a deep breath and center ourselves now. Yes. Atum O'Kane,
Maureen Haskell,
Cicely Miller, Louis Miller, Dora Miller, Miriam Schneidman,
Sally Reel, Joe Reel, and all those who came before.
Rosa and Santos Yarmiento, Jacine Sarmiento, Steve Noren,
Aunt Patsy,
Craig Brown, William Brown, Mona, Bill Reynolds, Bobby Pitto, Rocky Reynolds,
Cheryl Viveros, Evan Evans,
Ray Levine, Ela Eisenschmidt,
Erica Nuzzi, Doreen Jacobs, Amanda,
Judith Curtin, Reverend Aileen's mom,
Alan, Alice, Agnes, Dustin Mayhem,
Carolyn Brown,
Richard May,
Jane Leroy,
A. Harvey, Sally Ann, Josh, Louise, Esther,
Joan McGovern,
Pat Johnson, and Wayne Johnson,
Harold Cardell, grandfather on Dad's side,
Serum, Stan, Mom and Dad,
Carolyn Goff,
Tegan Spicer, Jerry Davis, Fred Ritz, Rufus and Joe,
Anthony Lopez, my dad,
River Gloria, Teresa,
Michael Zimmerman,
Ken and Lynn Merrill, Melina Dubois, Terry Cole Whitaker, Paula Glancy, Joy Haley, John Vickroy,
Malcolm Stewart, Bertie Luis, Fred Cameron,
Zena Stroshan,
William Rose, Jane Kysor,
Mary Leona Thomas, David Barton Thomas,
John Steele, Catherine Steele,
Mary Zasmarian, and Yesha Tashina.
William
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. William Scott Harding.
Thich Nhat Hanh,
Jessica Marie.
Emma Curtis Hopkins,
Alan Stromstad.
Mary Baker Eddy,
Alice Stromstad. Mary Elizabeth Smith.
Ernest Holmes,
Sybil Moreno. Robert Johnson. Mellon Thomas Benedict. Stephanie S. Devs Monroe.
Christine Anderson,
Jim Schreiber. Nancy Forsberg.
Carrie Lockhart,
Gary Johansson. Helen Wagoner. George Wagoner.
Grandma Letha,
Mabel and Eleanor Hobbs. Kathy Jackson.
Donna Pittman,
John and Penny Gallagher.
Dolores Little,
Charlie and Pearl Boyer.
Gary Lockhart,
Edward and Elsie Gallagher.
James and Virginia Hayden,
Walter Carlisle.
Jaya Palmer,
Firefly Walter.
Raven Joy,
Roberta Walter.
Paula Glancy,
Frankovich Chris.
Hunter, Eartha, Ocean, Don, Mika, Hanif, Jacob, Miracle, Johnny,
Hope Nicole Mikesel.
Jashiro Shishido, Jerry Shishido, Priscilla Weed, Carl Weed, Roy Shishido,
Carol Ann Anthus.
Turnip Kraut,
Timothy Smith.
Rita,
Ezra Doyle Saucier. Emma Saucier. Jonathan Wright.
Judy Ellen, Year Collins. I think I said that right.
Okay. Scotty and Anna Marie Snyder. David Snyder.
Helena and Jim Jackson, and Rocky.
Take a deep breath. They are not dead. Beyond earth's storm and mists and rains, beyond all sorrow, fear, and pain, new life, new joy shall spring again. They are not dead. They have but found new songs to sing, new life and laughter there to bring to love's eternal spring. Synopsis of a poem by Ernest Holmes. Thank you, and so it is.